6 criminals kidnapped a child from a massive mansion. Easy money, they thought, but they didn't know the truth. She's not human. What starts as a perfect crime turns into a nightmare. Now it's not about the ransom, it's about survival. In this video, I'll tell you the story of Abigail, a horror film full of tension, mystery, and one hell of a twist. Late one evening, Abigail practices ballet alone in a quiet, dimly lit theater. Elsewhere, a group of criminals carefully prepares for an operation. Their hacker disables the security systems at Abigail's house, while a sniper sets up on the rooftop. As Abigail finishes her rehearsal and heads outside, her driver picks her up, unaware that a tracker has been placed beneath the vehicle. Once the car moves, the kidnappers start following. The hacker unlocks the doors to Abigail's home remotely, allowing 3 members of the team to sneak inside and hide in her bedroom. One of them, a woman, is clearly uncomfortable when she realizes their target is a child. She voices her hesitation, saying this isn't the kind of job she normally takes, but the others dismiss her concerns and tell her to stay focused. Abigail returns home, unaware of what's waiting. She gets into bed and the team seizes the moment. One man tries to restrain her, but she manages to stab him in the hand with a pencil. A second attacker takes over, muffling her screams and holding her down. When the first one attempts to strike her, the woman intervenes, stopping him from harming the girl. She then injects Abigail with a sedative to put her to sleep. Outside, the rest of the team alerts the others that a car is approaching. The kidnappers quickly place Abigail into a bag and sneak out through a window, crossing the garden to meet the sniper. The alarms suddenly activate, but the final 2 members of the crew arrive in a van and pick them up just in time. They speed away, escaping without incident. During the ride, they check to make sure Abigail is still alive and blindfold her. When they approach a traffic jam, the hacker recommends a detour, but the driver abruptly swerves and hides the van behind a large truck. Eventually, they arrive at their destination, an old abandoned mansion on the outskirts of the city. There, they meet Lambert, the man who hired them. After securing Abigail to a bed with handcuffs, Lambert lays out the rules. No using real names, no sharing personal histories, and absolutely no relationships among the team. Their task is to watch Abigail for 24 hours until her wealthy father pays the $50 million ransom. Lambert doesn't reveal the father's identity but collects everyone's phones to avoid tracking. Before leaving, he assigns everyone code names inspired by the Rat Pack. Once Lambert is gone, the group begins to relax. They start drinking, and Dean tries to take candy from Joey, who refuses. He then tries to guess everyone's background stories, but fails miserably. The others challenge Joey to do better, and she impresses them by accurately identifying everyone's past based on their behavior and appearance. Frank used to be a detective. Peter was muscle for a mob. Sammy is a rich hacker doing this for fun. Rickles is an ex-sniper, and Dean is a reckless, unstable driver. In return, Frank guesses that Joey is a recovering addict. Joey later checks on Abigail, who quietly complains that her blindfold is too tight. Joey gently adjusts it and also moves the handcuffs to the front after seeing they're hurting her wrists. Abigail begins to cry and Joey tries to comfort her, assuring her they won't hurt her. They just want ransom money. The girl asks for a pinky promise, and Joey obliges. She reveals that she has a son, and Abigail tells her they've made a mistake. Her father doesn't care about her. As Joey leaves, Abigail softly says,
"I'm sorry about what's going to happen to you."
Joey shares her concerns with Frank, saying she thinks the girl's father might be someone dangerous. Frank dismisses it, suggesting it's a manipulation tactic. But once the others are distracted, he sneaks into Abigail's room to check on her. When he finds her without the blindfold, he quickly hides his face and aims a gun at her. Frank demands her father's name, and when she says Christophe Lazare, he freezes. Frank rushes back to the group and announces he's quitting. The others press for answers, and Frank tells them that Christophe Lazare is a powerful and dangerous crime lord. Joey and Rickles recognize the name and become concerned. The group argues but ultimately decides to stay, believing they can take the money and disappear. They agree to lock all doors and keep the house secured. As the night goes on, Joey follows a strange noise through the house. only to find an open window causing the sound. She secures it and notices a statue of a father holding a child. She then bumps into Rickles, who awkwardly tries to flirt before admitting he doesn't trust the others. They agree to watch each other's backs. Meanwhile, Sammy finds a TV room and is startled by Dean sneaking up behind her. He jokingly flirts, but Sammy kicks him out in anger. Dean wanders the house, pranks Peter by drawing on his face, and explores the dim corridors. He finds an old photograph that resembles Abigail and heads to the kitchen basement, where a door creaks open by itself. He enters, but suddenly something grabs his legs and pulls him into the darkness. Sammy hears the scream and rushes to the basement. She finds Dean seated at a table, motionless. As she approaches, his head falls off. She screams and vomits. The others arrive shortly after, shocked. No one believes Sammy could have done this. The scene reminds them of Valdez, Lazar's deadly enforcer, who once killed 3 gang members in a sealed hotel room under FBI watch. They check on Abigail again. She's fine. Rickles panics and tries to leave, but behind the front door is another security gate. Peter tries to force it open, but this triggers a system that seals all the windows. They're now completely trapped. Joey believes the whole thing was a setup. Rickles runs to find his gun, but it's gone. Joey returns to Abigail, who says Frank threatened her and claimed to work for her father. She says his real name is Valdez. Joey tells Rickles, and they both realize something is very wrong. But before they can act, Joey hears something. Rickles stands strangely still. She checks on him and finds him mortally wounded. His body collapses into her arms, and she runs downstairs in shock. Joey storms in and accuses Frank of being Valdez. He pulls his gun, claiming Abigail is manipulating everyone. He orders Peter to take care of her. Peter heads toward Abigail's room, but Joey intercepts him and disarms him. Sammy and Frank arrive, and chaos erupts. Back in her room, Abigail quietly slips out of her cuffs and stands. With a graceful ballet move, she reveals her true nature. She's a vampire. She leaps at Peter and tries to bite him, but Frank shoots her. She simply sits up, completely healed. Joey fires too, but it's useless. Bullets don't harm her. The group flees and locks the door. Now it's clear. Abigail is no ordinary child. She's the real threat, and the mansion is a cage. They regroup and realize they can't escape. The locks are magnetic and reinforced, and Sammy doesn't have the tools to override them. In desperation, Frank and Joey create makeshift stakes, while Sammy searches for garlic. Joey refuses to help, fearing that attacking Abigail might anger Lazar further. They return to Abigail's room, but she's gone. Music leads them to another room, where she's dancing with Dean's body. She acts innocent until Sammy tries to attack her. Garlic has no effect. When Frank intervenes, Abigail throws him aside. Peter tries to hold her, but she escapes easily and wounds him with his own necklace. Frank attempts a sneak attack but gets stabbed in the leg. The group retreats again. Joey remembers the sedative from earlier. They still have 1 dose left. They decide to split up and communicate via earpieces. Sammy explores a hallway and falls into a pit of decaying bodies. She screams and crawls out. Elsewhere, Abigail finds Peter and chases him with unnatural grace. He runs in panic but gets knocked down when Frank opens a door. Abigail pursues Frank, knocks him down the stairs, and pins him. Joey tries to inject her, but Abigail knocks the syringe out of reach. Sammy grabs Abigail only to get bitten. Abigail lifts Frank into the air, but Peter tackles her. Joey retrieves the syringe and sedates Abigail at last. As she fades, she threatens Joey one last time. Sammy fears she's turning. They lock Abigail in an elevator. Joey asks how to escape, offering freedom in return. Abigail reveals the entire plot was hers, and Lambert works for her. She knows everything about them. Sammy stole from her parents and criminals, Peter betrayed his crew, Frank got corrupted, and Joey became a black market medic who accidentally killed a gang member. Abigail admits she didn't kill them earlier because she enjoys playing with her food. She offers to let 2 of them live, then changes her mind and says only 1. Peter tries to free her, but Joey shoots him. The rest of the team retreats. Frank stays behind and asks Abigail how to escape. She says to pull a certain book in the library. He thanks her but refuses to release her. Abigail breaks the door herself and attacks. Joey arrives and opens a window, flooding the room with sunlight. Abigail burns and flees into the shadows. They regroup in the sunlit library. Sammy seems fine. For now. Frank pulls the book, but nothing happens. Abigail lied. Joey breaks down in frustration. She confesses to Sammy that she wanted to use the money to return to her son and start over. Sammy gets an idea. If they find the power source, she can short-circuit the system. They split up again. But Abigail takes control of Sammy, turning her into a vampire. Sammy kills Peter. Abigail, speaking through her, makes her dance like a puppet. When Joey and Frank arrive, Sammy reveals her transformation and chases them. Joey reflects sunlight with a tray, destroying Sammy and revealing a secret door. Inside, they find the mansion's control room, and Lambert. He's a vampire, too. He explains Abigail turned him and blackmailed him. He offers to turn Frank in exchange for help killing Abigail and Lazar. Frank agrees, is bitten, and begins transforming. Lambert orders him to kill Joey, but Frank kills Lambert instead. Abigail attacks. Frank, now stronger, begins feeding on her. Joey deactivates the security and calls her son, leaving an emotional voicemail. Frank finds her and attacks. He's too strong. But Abigail arrives and begs Joey to help her defeat him, promising freedom. Together they fight, but Frank is overpowering. He impales Joey with a stake and bites her. When she wakes, he controls her, but she's faking. She turns on him, and with Abigail's help, they kill him. Joey fears she'll turn, but Abigail reassures her. She's safe. Keeping her word, Abigail lets her go. As Joey heads to the van, she's stopped by Lazar himself. He intends to kill her, but Abigail steps in and tells him Joey saved her. Lazar, moved, spares her life. Joey gets in the van, finds a lollipop, then drives off into the sunrise. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more recaps like this.